As you all know, 9 is the same thing as 10 minus 1. We're going to use this fact to make our calculating life just a little bit easier. For example, look at this problem. We've got 2,468 times 9 that we need to calculate. Now, ordinarily, we could sit down and multiply this out, but what we're going to do is we're going to take each one of these, and we're going to think of this as actually being 10 minus 1. So we're going to multiply by 10, and then we're going to subtract this value times 1. So we're going to need a tens version of this, and we're going to need a ones version of this. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and if I multiply it by 10, I can use the trick in which I simply add a 0 to the end. Sorry about the spacing there. And then I'm going to need my ones version of it, which looks like this. 2, 4, 6, 8. And then I'm going to need to subtract. Okay, so there's the 10, there's the 1, there's the subtract. So, using our subtraction algorithm, I can see that I start at the right. So I've got 0, I don't have anything to use, so I'm going to borrow 1. So 10 minus 8 is 2. 7 minus 6, that works, is 1. 6 minus 4 is 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. And 2 is just going to be all by itself. And this appears to be my answer. Now, you might not believe that this works, but at the very least, I can double check to make sure that it's actually divisible by 9 using my divisible by 9 trick. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2, adding up the digits, it's going to give me 2, 4, 6, 7, 9. So at the very least, I know my answer is divisible by 9. Let's try another one. I have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 times 9. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the times 10 version, and I'm going to get the times 1 version. So times 10, I just take all the digits and write them out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and add a 0 at the end. And for my ones version, 1 times anything is just itself, so that's going to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You may be noticing it's as if I've just taken this and shifted it over. So now I'm going to subtract, because I'm using the 9 is equal to 10 minus 1 trick. And I notice that I'm going to need to borrow. That's bigger, or excuse me, that's smaller, 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 and smaller. So I'm going to borrow from here. That's going to become a 4. That is going to borrow. 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 And there we go with our borrowing. So 10 minus 1 gives me 9. 10 minus 2 gives me 8. 11 minus 3 gives me 8. 12 minus 4 gives me 8. 13 minus 5 gives me 8. And 4 we just carry down. So here's my answer. You can double check that in a calculator if you'd like. But I could also check 4 plus 8 plus 8 plus, that's a lot of 8s. If I take and add those up, I find, 8, 16, 24, 32 plus 4. So 32 plus 4 is 36. 36 plus 9 gives me 45. And that means it's divisible by 9. So at the very least, I know that my answer is correct. You can my answer is divisible by 9. You can double check that it is in fact correct. Let's do one more. So I see that I've got a large number multiplied by 9. I'm going to do a times 10 version. I'm going to do a times 1 version. And they're going to be stacked up. So 2, 6, 5, 3, 5, and the times 10 means I can just put a 0 at the end. The times 1 is just the same thing back. So 2, 6, 5, 3, 5. We're going to be subtracting. And it looks like I need to borrow here. Sorry about the pen. Ten minus 5 gives me 5. 4 minus 3 gives me 1. Here I'm going to need to borrow again. Still going to need to borrow. I can borrow from here. And 13 minus 5 gives me 8. 14 minus 6 gives me 8. 5 minus 2 gives me 3, and then I can carry the 2 down. Let's double check to make sure that I've done my calculation correct. 2 plus 3 plus 8 plus 8 plus 1 plus 5 gives me, let's see, I can get a 2 and an 8 combined. That's 10. Check, check. So 10 plus 11. So 10 plus 11 is 21, 22, 27. And that is divisible by 9, 2 plus 7. So, in essence, what we can do is any number that we get, we can remember that 9 is the same thing as 10 minus 1, and we'll be able to simplify quickly.